everybody, and welcome back to another Watercolor Wednesday. I am MxRheyRhey, and I am very happy to show you guys what I painted today. I am actually very proud of it. What you are seeing me use is called an aqua board. It is particle board that has been specifically gessoed with watercolor absorbent ground on it. So it is made for watercolor, and you can put it and frame it and everything, and you don't need glass. I will be spraying it with a varnish, like archival spray varnish over it in a few days. I didn't do it in this video because, just it took a while. This actually took me kind of like 2 days to do, just to plan the piece and then put that plan into fruition. And if you guys can't notice yet from now to previous videos, my audio sounds a little different because I am in a different recording space. I started my babysitting this week for the school semester for my brother and his wife. She is a teacher and he works full-time. So I and my mother help babysit their children when they can't find a babysitter. So if my audio starts to sound like this more, it is because I am recording in my closet as a voiceover, and my schedule will have to change around having children back into the house, and it will be a messy transition because it's on my second day and I'm taking it in stride. I'm trying not to be very negative in this video because I feel like that's how I have been in the last previous videos for a while, and it's not a healthy mindset for me, and I don't like having this mindset projected out to other people, even though you may feel like camaraderie in it. It's not helpful to always dwell in negative feelings all the time. Like you can take the time to be in it and process it, but then you have to start finding a solution, not just stay in it. This is gonna be an urban sketch of nature. If you haven't figured out by the title, it's taken me over 2 minutes just to get to this part. So my process, as like before, is the sketching portion, the painting portion, and then the outlining portion. Just like it was in the other one, but this one has a more detailed rendition than my morning prompt from the other video. If you'd like to go check that out, that actually would be very nice of you. I would appreciate it. So the reason I am so proud of this one is because I feel like this is the time or this day in particular, when I was sketching all this and making it happen, I made up my mind that this one was going to be a piece that I will make into prints and sell on my Etsy shop. So if you can stay by the end and say, oh yeah, no, this has potential and everything, and you want to check out my shop where it will be available, I would very much appreciate it. Just checking out my shop in general, I would appreciate just getting the sort of traffic so I can get attention to my work, so I can turn this into a more full-fledged job, is my goal for this year. And I'm doing everything in pacing, but I need to, be mindful of, I want to make things that people buy, so I need to make things that people buy. And if this sounds like your style, please let me know. So I actually wanted to use my Stuart Semple professional watercolors for this one. I feel like all of the vibrancy in the colors that I used when I used them previously didn't do it its full justice, and I knew it had so much more potential than just like bright poppy colors that seem in retrospect, more simple and juvenile. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I do believe like feeding your inner child, even as like growing into an adult, is very important. So there's nothing wrong with being juvenile in a sense, but that's not the sort of content that I want to go towards. So I thought I'd give them another shot, and I actually really loved how this came out. What you're going to be seeing now is me prepping my colors. I tried to be very, very mindful of it. I wanted to make sure that there was enough ratio between the highlights and the shadows and the midlights. I only have lighting vernacular knowledge from using Photoshop and like other digital programs on a computer. And when you are doing like some editing, there are ways to like do highlights. There's a mid light in the middle and then shadows. So if my vernacular is wrong and you have no idea what I'm talking about, it's the light tones, mid tones, and dark tones of like any piece. But yeah, I really don't. Now that I said I don't want this to be a negative video, I don't know what to talk about. Okay, so I did have to pause my voiceover for a little bit because I really did need to figure out what am I going to talk about that is at least neutral to positive, because I'm just, there's nothing in my head right now but like negativity. So, in order to flesh that away, I think I will talk about my goals on how to improve my mental health right now. Because I think that's positive, and maybe it'll inspire some other people to like make a plan for that instead of the really bad habit that I seem to have, which is dwelling and then not making anything that I want a priority for me. So the first thing I really want to do is set my boundaries. There's like sub plans in between that, but I want to set my boundaries so like people know, hey, this is what's going on with me. Yes, you have to take it seriously, whether you believe me or not, because these are my boundaries, and be at peace. I think I forgot what I was talking about. But yes, set my boundaries, especially when I have a very family-centric world right now. It was like that before COVID. So nothing in my life has changed in the last year. I'm gonna keep saying as well because that's how I think. So after I set my boundaries, I want to make a want and do list for myself, because the problem I always have is when I'm idle, I feel like I need to be doing something, and always it turns out what I want to do feels more prevalent to do at the moment than things that I need to do. So things that I'd want to do is like buy so much art supplies, because it gives me like that little dopamine serotonin buzz, whichever one it is, in my head. And that is great in the moment, but then I end up having less money than I wanted to do other things that I need to do. So what I'm going to do in the future, maybe this weekend, after I'm done with all the voiceovers and the babysitting and stuff, because babysitting is a job, I will sit down, I will get a piece of paper out, and I will write out things that I would like to do as a want, which is like, paint, get out of the house, buy art supplies, things like that, and then things that I need to do, like in order to just get my life in order, not just things like, oh, I need to do my laundry, oh, I need to like meal plan, things like that. Actually, meal plan would be a good idea. That way I'm not always asking, hey, what do we need or want for dinner? So things that I would need to do are things like I need to do meal plans. That way I'm at the grocery store less often. And I need to figure out how much I want to save in order to move out. I would like to be able to move like in a year, maybe, like, you know, a reasonable amount of time, things where like things have calmed down. I get some of like my head in order. I have time to do plans. What I need to do is make plans and stick to them and work towards them. So that would be step 2. 1 was set boundaries. 2 was make plans. 3 would, what would 3 be? That's a tough one. I guess work towards those plans. That would be plans within themselves. I need to find a way to work towards my plans. Vocalizing them would probably be really great, so everyone around me is like, hey, this is what she's planning to do. And then there's the issue of my anxiety saying, are they going to take you seriously? But that, I feel like, is me gaslighting myself. So that plan is going to need to happen. If I feel like I'm gaslighting myself, there's a reason for it, and that means I have to really analyze and do the thing that is giving me anxiety, because it will be for the better of it. Needless to say, that won't always work with everyone. If I feel like I'm being pressured into, like, I don't know, the DARE program and doing drugs and stuff, don't let that be your, well, I guess it doesn't really, it depends on your situation, but like, don't do cocaine. I feel like that's a good overall don't to do. Don't do cocaine. Speak to medical professionals about what's wrong with you, except I'm in America, so that doesn't help either. Yeah, I guess some things that I would like to set boundaries for is my workspace, because like I said earlier, I'm currently recording in a closet. I had to wait like 5 minutes after setting my stuff up to make sure that the child I am helping take care of doesn't just walk in on me because she demands something from me. Which, I mean, like, she's 3. I can't judge her for that. But, you know, she feels like I am a safe person, and I don't want to break that trust. And I want her to not turn out like me. So there are things I feel like I need to do, but also I can't not put myself first anymore, you know? It's a thing that I've waged war with my entire life, because I feel, whether like reality outside of my head actually did this or not, because I cannot think for other people. I cannot say that this is what they were thinking, because I can say when I feel like my entire life hasn't been mine and it's been used to be make others' lives better, there's some form of reality in that, because if that's how I'm feeling, and if that's how I have been, if that's been some motivation behind the actions of my life, that's still real, you know? Like, I'm still doing this because I feel like I have to for these reasons. Even if I don't feel like it's something I would do anyway. So it's very hard for me to say no to a lot of things. And even when people are nice to me and they say, oh, well, I know you don't have to do things, like, just tell me when you want to say no. And you would think that would work, that I would be able to, like, because they gave me the cue and the ability and the option to press the no button, that I feel like it's not still encased in glass and welded in like a welded metal frame, like just over that no button. You would think that I would at least see, just metaphorically, a button that says no, thank you, I have other plans. That's not how my life has gone. So it's very hard for me to say no. I can say no when it's a child and they're like, hey, I want ice cream for breakfast, and I have to say, no, you have eggs right in front of you. How about some fruit? That's still sweet. And even when she's a fruit lover and she says, no, I don't want fruit right now, I have to tell her, well, you cannot have ice cream. That's very different from when someone who is supposed to be your peer or your quote unquote better, like a parent or an authority figure, even though they are telling you things that you know are not good for you, and they still expect you to do it, whether you said no or not, that is the situation I feel like I am in all the time. Oh God, I'm being negative again. I am so sorry, you guys. I did not mean for this to be like this. This is such a good painting that I did, and I'm so proud of it, and I'm ruining it with my negativity. This is why I feel like sometimes I'm being very narcissistic, even though when I look up narcissism, I can tell objectively that's not how I feel. Do you guys ever feel like that? Do you ever feel like because you feel like you are depressive and anxious and probably have other neurodivergent tendencies that you feel like you are the narcissistic asshole? Because I ask often by people who like know sort of what's going on in my head if I'm being narcissistic, if I'm talking about myself too much, and they always tell me no, but I never believe them. I hate that. I hate that I can't just take people for their word, because trauma, I guess? Like, I don't know. Give me a second, I need to go back into a positive mind state. Okay, so turns out I'm probably just going to be thinking about this for the rest of my day, so I'm just going to try to put a positive spin on it. I am a grown adult, and I am learning that I can make my own decisions and find my own path that doesn't have to involve what my family wants and needs all the time. I am working to become in my own eyes, a full-fledged adult, and that includes things like becoming financially independent, which is why, for one, I'm not sorry about the self-promo. If you like what I did so far and you want a print of it, please check out my Etsy shop. It's down below. If you want to figure out where I am getting my art supplies, the Stuart Semple watercolors are on culturehustle.com. That one is not really in the description below, but everything else I have gotten from the websites that I have affiliate links for in the description. There is blickarts.com and Michaels. I got the pens from Michaels. I got the ampersand and some of the watercolor brushes and the easel from there. All very good places. They have like really good discounts and everything. Clicking those links and having a purchase within 24 hours does give me a commission from them. I believe Blick is 10% and Michaels is 2%. It just lets them know that I am okay to keep on as a sort of affiliate sponsor, and then it doesn't cost you guys anything extra when you purchase anything. I just get commission. That's how commission works. So that is a way for me to become financially independent by doing the art and doing the game design on my other channel, which I'm gonna stop talking about now, and forging my own path, doing what I want to do and what makes me happy, because that is what adulting should be. On another hand, let me actually finally start talking about this painting because I have like 3 minutes left in all of this. I loved how this turned out. Some of the shading I think went a little over my head, so some of it still seems samey to me, especially with like all of the rock formations. Needed to have a little more, to me, I wanted more detail within like how the shadows played out. But when it came to all of the outlining, I loved it. I really like using more outline colors than just black. Like for the branches, I used a dark brown. For the water, I used blue. For the leaves, I used green. For the rocks, obviously, I used black. It's nice. It feels more natural to me. I wish certain things in real life had outlines so I can like figure out where things are, but also I like them being colored with what it feels best represents the things, like green for leaves. It looks like a nice touch to me. I feel like I will continue to do this sort of thing in the future, especially with outlines. I'm starting to really like the urban sketching feel of things. I want to delve more into this with my watercolors. I have this idea of like urban sketching but in a fantasy setting, so like a lot of more forests, maybe like castles, creatures and magic and dragons and everything of that sort, very D&D-ish of me. But I feel like that's the route I want to go into with all of this. So I was very excited to see that nature in an urban sketch for the style that I'm doing with like the colored outlines and all of that can really actually like work, and it comes to fruition. And you'll see in just a few seconds the very end product of all of my hours of work. This actually took me like 2.5 hours to make, and I was so tired, and my arm is like still recovering from this because this was just a couple of days ago. Because lifting, I feel like I need to start doing more pictures on an easel rather than just on the table, because posture and my arm is not used to that yet, so it's very sore, like I did a workout, because 2.5 hours of your arm suspended in the air hurts, and I need to do something with my right hand because I am left-handed, and there was no evenness or balance to the workout I just gave myself from this painting. But this is it. This is the end result. Let me guys know what you think about anything that I've said today. If you have suggestions for your own coming of age journey as a millennial, if you are one, let me know in the comments. We can like all group chat or something. I can make a Discord server. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. My ramblings, this is admittedly too long of a video than I am comfortable with, but it sort of just happens that way all the time with how I want you guys to see my process. See you guys in the next video. Have a wonderful life.